A long day for federal lawmakers at the Nigerian Senate as the resumed screening of President Tinubu's ministers designate. 23 nominees have been screened so far, with 8 more still waiting to have their day before the Hallowed Chamber. Among the ministers designated screened on Tuesday is former Governor of Kaduna State Nasir El-Rufai, the Senate's Deputy Majority Leader Dave Umahi, finance expert Wale Edun, and others. National Assembly correspondent Jesu Adebayo reports.
It is day 2 of the ministerial screening at the Nigerian Senate. After considering a motion on the free circulation of petroleum products, especially to border communities, the Senate suspended its rules to admit visitors into the chamber. The mace is lowered to indicate the dissolution of plenary into the committee of the whole. As it is the tradition of the Senate, the nominees are ushered in by the special advisor to the President on National Assembly matters. Each nominee took the stand and responded to questions with regards to national security, economic development, and how they hope to collectively achieve Mr. President's renewed hope agenda.
President Bola Tinubu is committed to ensuring that Nigeria has stable and reliable electricity supply. Because without electricity, industrialization is a pipe dream. Without electricity, even agriculture today is not a viable proposition. So he's committed to that, and he has asked me to work with him to address these problems. And I will do my best to do so.
Your Excellency, you did raise the issue of the Consolidated Revenue Fund. You did raise the issue of adherence to the Constitution. His Excellency, President Bola Tinubu, is a Democrat. He's someone that believes in federalism. He believes in true fiscal federalism. He believes in the rule of law. And so it is my belief that he would not countenance or knowingly spend or authorize to be spent funds that have not been duly appropriated by this august body and others who are so authorized to do.
An offtake, if government has an industry, which is the secondary economy, if you have an industry that is taking off the products, more people will go into agriculture, and our youths will no longer be idle.
The Senate hopes to complete this process in good time to allow President Bola Tinubu constitute his federal cabinet and commence the execution and implementation of policies, plans, and programs of government. TVC News, Abuja.
I'm joined now by Senator Mohammed Mongono, Senator representing Borno North. Thank you for joining us on the news this hour. 23 minister nominees have now been screened by you and your colleagues. I'm wondering what's your assessment of these individuals, given what you've seen thus far?
Well, thank you very much for having me on board. Well, the screening exercise of the ministerial nominees in consonance with the relevant provisions of the Constitution is a smooth sail, as you have observed. And then we are lucky that these are people with proven track record of performance and excellence in their various callings before. And they will bring to bear their experience, their knowledge, and vision for the country into the ideas and programs that are embedded in the renewed hope agenda of the Bola Tinubu administration, with a view to bringing succor to the lives of Nigeria, especially against the backdrop of the removal of the fuel subsidy, which has unleashed a lot of hardships on the lives of Nigerians. So these are people with proven track record of performance in their various endeavors before, and I think based on their resume and based on the robust and brilliant answers they provided to the questions posed by distinguished senators, they are going to bring a lot of value to the administration and more particularly to the renewed hope agenda of the present administration. So it's a smooth sail. But that notwithstanding, the Senate will still have to resolve into a committee of the whole after the screening exercise with a view to looking at the nitty-gritty of the various salient issues that were raised and other issues that were observed in their resume with a view to either finally confirming their nomination or rejecting their nomination. So this exercise that the Senate did now is for the Senate to hear their opinion, for them to ventilate their opinion on various aspects of our national concerns, and it's now for the Senate, after the screening exercise, to resolve into a committee of the whole to determine their eligibility for the position.
You can hear me, Senator Monguno, quickly. So there's what they have done before, right? But there's also what they think about the current situation in Nigeria. What do you say to the cross-section of Nigerians who think that you and your colleagues haven't been thorough enough, you have not asked, the hard questions? Sometimes we hear, take a bow and go, the usual tradition. How do you respond to Nigerians who have that perception of what's happening right now at the Red Chamber?
They have that opinion, are entitled their opinion. This screening exercise was done in the full glare of the public. It was on live television across the nooks and crannies of the country. For example, the nominee, I think from Ogun State, was subjected for about 2 hours of drilling, questions, avalanche of questions from all the nooks and crannies of senators, either from the opposition or from the ruling party. So for anybody to come out and say that the nominees were not subjected to thorough screening and question as to their vision for the country of giving succor to Nigerians, revamping the economy, revitalizing the economy is, I think, is not saying the truth, because it is in the public glare, it is in the public domain. One nominee was subjected to about 3 hours of drilling on issues that concerns the economy, because the economy is the #1 concern for each and everybody. And then for those that were in the Senate or in the House of Representatives, that is an established convention, not only in Nigeria, but in other climes also, for those that were either in the House of Rep or in the Senate, for them to come and adumbrate briefly on their own resume and for them to bow and go. So that tradition is something that is obtainable in other climes. But all other nominees were thoroughly subjected as to their vision. For example, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, who people speculated that maybe is going to be given the portfolio of the energy ministry, he was thoroughly subjected to a question as to how it's going to revitalize the power sector, because it's key to the economic growth of this country, for creation of jobs and security and what have you. So for anybody to say that the nominees were not thoroughly screened is not saying the truth.
I hear you, Senator Monguno. That's our time. 8 more ministers to go as we await the second batch from Mr. President. Senator Mohammed Monguno is representing Borno North at the 10th Senate. Thank you for talking to us on the news tonight.